What's up, everybody? So welcome back. Like I told you guys, I'm gonna start doing some real estate stuff. I'll have a video of opinions on where we think the real estate market's going to go. But right now, I wanted to get a lender. So this is Randy. He's a preferred lender out here in the Kansas City area where I'm at. And as a real estate agent, I don't do the numbers bit. I don't get into your taxes. I don't worry about all that. And I make it my job not to worry about that because, well, that's his job. But I get this a ton because if you come to me and say, hey, I want to buy a house, my first question is going to be like, are you pre-approved? Like, where are we at in this situation? Typically, if it's not their first house, they probably have someone, or I guess a bad experience.
Yeah.
Because man, have I had some of those.
So have I.
Yeah. So I've openly talked about this because I can't stand him. But Rocket Mortgage. Now, he's not going to talk bad about anybody because he's professional. I, however, am not a professional lender, so I get to make fun of these guys because I can't stand them. I'm literally showing houses. I got the pre-approval letter, everything. And he's like, man, I can't believe I even got approved so fast. I didn't think you could. Because I had a foreclosure. I said, pump the brakes. When was this last foreclosure? He's like, I was like 3 months ago, 90 days. I was like, oh, you're not approved, and didn't have what's the letter from the VA that says your
certificate of eligibility.
Yes.
Yeah.
So not only was he approved with a foreclosure, didn't have that letter. I even called Rocket Mortgage. I said, do you guys have this? They had no idea what it was. Then they actually called him and tried to make it sound like they knew what it was, and he said he would have it, but he never did. Like, he'd never heard of it. I could tell, like, just looking at his face, he'd never heard of that in his life. And that's not the only one. There's so many bad experiences. So that's why I wanted to bring him on here, so we can talk about questions to ask. How do you know if he's good or not? Reputable, because I can tell you right now, lenders are like real estate agents. Am I right? Like, there are so many right now. It seems like that's the glamour side of it. I'm gonna sell homes. I'm either gonna fund or I'm gonna be the real estate agent. And you're gonna be just rich, and then you go pass a test. Ta-da! Like, here you are.
Which isn't complicated, by the way. I think just in Kansas City alone, there's like 14,000 lenders, right?
Yeah.
Generally, in every market, there's one realtor and one lender. So there's 14,000 of you.
Yeah.
92% last year sold 3 homes or less in the last 12 months. So 8% of the people are doing anything. Same thing with lending.
Yeah.
There's 14,000 of us. 92% or less did less than a handful of transactions over the last 12 months. And so, that being the case, I think that's why you had asked me to come here, was to really say, okay, how do I know that I'm picking at least a good lender? How do I know that as I'm taking my step in home buying, I'm going in the right direction?
Yeah.
Right? Well, most people, whenever they first call me, first thing they ask, hey, what's your rate? By the way, we're not going to talk about rates at all on this video. But that's the first question they ask. What's the rate?
Yeah, but rates are so. If for everyone that is new, like, rates are so competitive these days that it's negligible. Am I bad? I don't know if I'm wrong to say that. Negligible. Like, it's going to be the experience. I think would even be worth it because we're talking fractions of a. Sometimes I talk decimal. I was going to say. Nothing. But before I don't want this to slip. Let's say the person's, what are some shortcomings? Because real estate, you can pay your dues, you can luck into a transaction a year, you break even. Our job is basically to open the door. I don't think we can mess up that much as you guys can. So let's say it's your wife's boyfriend. He just got his license. Like, it's like a friend of a friend. What could be some shortcomings of that? That one person that's going to, they mean well, they're not trying to do any harm, but they're just going to luck into that deal. And what are some red flags there?
So, are we talking about finding a realtor or are we talking about finding a lender?
Finding a lender, yeah.
Okay. That's fair. So, all right, listen, the key ingredient is this. His job as a realtor, my job as a lender, is to make sure that you, as a buyer or a consumer, do not become a horror statistic. Let's be real. You've all heard the horror stories that come with buying a house. Oh my God, this was delayed. Oh my God, this costs more. Oh my God, this didn't get done. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Our job, seriously, is to mitigate all of those oh my gods. This is supposed to be a fun experience. In fact, if you were to ask me my 15-second elevator speech, it's literally to make your home buying experience so amazing, similar to Disney World. Most people will do it once in a lifetime. I want to make that experience so amazing that you can't wait to tell all of your friends and family about it. Period. And if we're doing all these things where we're just kind of letting underwriting run the show, or processing run the show, or the listing agents or the sellers run the show, that's not going to be a good experience for you. Donald and I are such a great team because we communicate so much to ensure that we're in control of your future. We're in control of that situation. We're not letting anybody else be in control. There's not a, oh, well, the underwriter's taken 5 days scenario. That doesn't happen. We get in, we get out. You know, if our underwriting turn times are taking more than 24 hours, we got a problem, right? We don't have 5 days. And so, you know, most times consumers such as yourself might say, oh, well, that's common. That's not common. Speed. Time kills deals. And so the speed factor is very important. But how can you as a consumer say, oh, well, this guy's going to be quick? First question somebody should be asking is not what is your rate? How quickly can you get me closed? Yeah. Right? If I get you all my paperwork tomorrow, when can I sign on the dotted line? Well, we're going to need 30 to 45 days. Red flag.
Yeah.
Why? Why do we need 30 to 45 days? If you've got all my stuff, right?
Yeah.
Why do we need 30 to 45 days? Not that I want you to buy a house quicker than you're ready to buy it, but at the same time, you know, 3 weeks is pretty customary to get these things done. It could flow over into 30 days. You're probably going to write 30 days on that contract to give an extra 9 days buffer.
Yeah.
But that's your first red flag. It's going to take well over a month.
Yeah.
Now, in my question to you is, what's one competitive piece in a purchase contract that somebody who's only sold one house in the last 12 months may not know?
What's one competitive piece?
Of what I just said. If you had 2 exact offers, one closing in 21 days, one closing in 40, to a seller, which one's going to be more attractive, in your opinion?
Oh, to a seller, they're going to want their money now.
Yeah,
especially
this
with
is J.G. Wentworth when it comes to real estate. It's my money, I want it now, right?
Yes. Yeah, no kidding. Especially because, well, there's no one's any stranger to this. The real estate market lately, if you need to be as close to cash as possible, and we'll get into another video later about crashes and all that. But probably now more than ever, you want your cross your T's, dot your I's, watch your P's and Q's. Like the last thing, like I can't tell you, just stories I've heard of just underwriting just seems to be like this spider web of disasters waiting to happen, and you'll hear that it's an underwriting, it's like this hurry and wait game. It's some of the most anxious times of real estate, just the hurry and wait, like we're waiting for this fairy tale underwriting department to get it together. Like,
well, obviously the second red flag, Google your loan officer. Google them. They should have reviews. If they don't have reviews, that is a red flag, because they don't care enough about what their people are saying to ask for that opinion, to ask for that review. That means this is a temporary game, or they just don't have any good reviews, right? Like, that's been my primary focus. It's crazy. I've been asking for reviews for almost 6 years, if not more, maybe 7 years. I don't have a single bad review.
Nice.
I've never had a bad review. 7 years. You can walk into Walmart, overprice something, get a bad review just because something wasn't marked correctly. I've never had a bad review. And we're not talking about, you know, we're doing $20,000 transactions like a car, whatever. We're talking houses, and there are so many people involved in a real estate transaction that a lot of folks don't even understand. Never had a bad review. But that is a second red flag. If they don't have a slew of reviews, question why.
Yeah.
If you're doing so many loans per year, why don't you have one good review? Why do you only have 2 good reviews? That's a big thing.
That's very true, because everybody loves, like, you can even, I don't know, I don't want to say I would cut out the good reviews, but you know how everyone's so quick to
Just because Dr. Pepper sponsored this.
This is not an ad. Dr. Pepper did not sponsor this, especially because it's garbage. Even though I'm drinking it, I don't know. First of all, side note, they know I get ranty. Why is Dr. Pepper so, like, I'm not addicted at all, but everyone I know just loves Dr. Pepper. Like, dude, I think we're gonna find out. FDA 10 years from now, like, were you addicted? And like,
once
you
it
didn't
hits
know.
your lips, it's so good.
It's too sweet. I'll drink it, but it's
so. To carry on, Google reviews. You're right. Everybody goes online for something.
Mm-hmm.
Why do they not go online and say, let me type in Ted Thomas Linder and see what pulls up?
Yeah.
If no reviews are pulling up, there's a big question. Why aren't you reviewed? Well, I've only been doing this a few months. Okay, found it.
Okay,
right.
So two things on that. Like, one, you know, if it's bad, the first thing they're going to do is go to Facebook, start doing reviews. So bad ones should be easy to come by. So if we escape that, we don't have any bad reviews. Let's say the good reviews aren't stacked. Mm-hmm. He has only been doing this a few months. Now, I know experience can bring us home, because experience, you'll know what will go through underwriting, what won't. You know what's going to turn up later. That everyone, and correct me, this is what I want you to go into. The guy that's only been doing this a few months
is waiting for the underwriter to control the game.
Okay, so that's
I look at it as it's chess, not checkers. I need to be able to see 21 days out versus, oh, this was their move, this one's mine. Yeah. That's just not a good way to do it. So experience makes a big factor. Number two, Donald has openly said, it is not my job to be in lending. So he doesn't know a lot about the lending side. He knows enough to be quasi-dangerous, but not enough to actually underwrite your file. Do you want Donald negotiating your contract, being in front of inspectors, being in front of appraisers, being in front of all the people he's in front of, and telling your lender what to do the whole time? No, he doesn't want to do that either. Absolutely not. You wouldn't want your real estate agent telling your lender this is what needs to happen. Absolutely not. So, you know, experience, reviews, it's a big thing, right? It's just a big thing. Now, the other piece that I like to look at is locality, right? Online lenders. I'm not here to bag on them, just like he said. I'm not here to bag on online lending, but you know what you have to ask yourself is that, you know, a lot of people use online lending because there's some displayed rate that they can see, and they feel promised to this rate. Okay. The biggest question that I have for you in online lending is, imagine if you were a seller and you had a $500,000 transaction at bay. Would you trust $500,000 of your dollars with somebody 1,500 miles away when there are 14,000 people right here in your backyard that could handle that transaction?
That's very true. So I always call them the Walmart of lending.
Yeah.
Like, and it might as well be a Walmart cashier. They're
Yeah.
they're nowhere to
And
be
now you're
found
doing your
anyway.
own job at Walmart anymore. You got to
Yeah,
check yourself out too, right?
Yeah, you'll be doing the underwriting and still
I'm like,
get
can I
approved.
get paid for the time that I just spent? You know?
Yeah, I am going to send them a W-2 at the end
I
of the year.
do a 1099 request, yes. So the reality is, guys, these online lenders, use them for your refinance. Don't use them for your transaction that is so important. And time is of the essence, and locality is of the essence. You know, the problem is that if I was slacking, Donald could drive to my office and just lay it on me, yell at me, get in front of me, be in my face. You think he could do that with a lender 1,500 miles away? No. They are going to hang up on him, get back to him at their convenience, or whatever, right? You are just a number, unfortunately. And so, you know, in a transaction where, you know, there's so much at stake, just the online lending thing, it doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. You know, so there's 3 red flags, right, that we've touched on. Number 4, you're coming to Donald because of something you've read about him, how good of an experience he's provided somebody else, right? His reputation, all of these things. Okay? whenever he says, this is my person, this is who we use, remember, that's what got him to the reviews that you've read that are good out there. It's not because he a la carted some sort of, team that he put together. No, it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the fact that he was able to be in control of the entire transaction from front to back. He helped you select which, if you trusted him to negotiate on your house, you should trust him to select a team, right? You're not going to walk into the doctor's office and the doctor's going to say, well, you've got appendicitis and we need to take it out. That's cool. I got it from here. let me select my own nurse. She's going to come in and handle this piece. And you know what? I might make a few incisions on myself as well. That's not how you do it. You trust that doctor based off of reviews, based off of, experience, based off of reputation, based off of your conversation with him, based on the fact that he's local. You're not going to fly to Maine to have your appendix taken out. I mean, you might. Some people are crazy like that, but you're going to use a local doctor that's well reviewed, good experience, reputation, still affordable, but you're not going to walk into that doctor's office and say, well, I don't really like this nurse. I've got this one over here that I'd rather use. That's why it's important to just trust the process. Trust the doctor, aka realtor, to take care of the scenario from start to finish. He's going to put you in good hands with a team that's already been vetted, that's already been built out. This isn't his first rodeo, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to do the least amount of work possible. I know it sounds bad.
It sounds
if
bad.
I have to babysit you, not on the team. I have enough
but
to
your
do.
job is to keep the numbers tight.
Yeah.
To not let things slip in, to not let things slip through the cracks. And if you've got to babysit everybody, I'm telling you, something's slipping through the cracks, and a horror statistic is about to come out of this. Look how every horror story is created.
Yeah. The sad part is most horror stories, a lot of them, they're not caught in the beginning.
They're not.
It's at the end when it's everyone's time to close. Like, hey, you sent that CDC out? And it's, what?
What?
Oh, God.
Oh, we missed that. Or, it didn't get signed.
Yeah.
Did the buyer know it needed signed?
Yeah.
Well,
no.
we sent an email. Do they check their emails regularly? I don't know. But we sent the email.
Yeah. The conversation I absolutely hate, dread, any of that from both directions. If I'm hearing it, whatever what end I'm on, is we have to extend this.
Yes.
I'm like, who the... I want to start choking people at that point. That's where I get angry.
You should know in the first week and a half if you're going to need a few days.
Yeah.
And you should talk about it then, not during closing week. Hey, we got to extend this week. What? Movers are scheduled. Utilities are scheduled. These people, the sellers, they're moving cross country. Now we got to have notaries to sign all the crap. And it's like, oh my God.
Oh, yeah. Especially the domino effect. We're going to get into that. But, we're now seeing contingent deals again. Like,
yes.
I will buy this house, contingent, mine sells. So now you're on this end, so that fails, this fails, that one fails. If they were contingent, it is just a masterclass of bad phone calls no one wants to be in, and it's because some stupid, silly mistake that
it's always the smallest thing too.
Yeah.
Where'd this $5 in your bank account come from?
Oh,
Wait,
yeah.
what?
Yeah.
No, it's always something. So I've prepared canned emails that go out on top of the phone conversations that I make, which talks about all the do's and the don'ts way in the beginning, to make sure that everybody knows, hey, anytime you pull credit, you think of me. Anytime you deposit money into your bank account, you think of me. Anytime you're shopping for insurance, you think of me. Everything you do for the next 30 days, I want you thinking of me. Is my lender going to be upset if I do this?
Yeah. Or just pretend your credit got stolen. Don't buy a single thing.
Right.
I'm just going to play it
Tell
safe.
people, you can get groceries for a year for free if you put in this small inquiry right here.
Yeah.
Sorry, groceries, you got to wait, right?
Yeah.
It's because, again, the smallest things can really upset underwriting.
Oh, yeah.
But
I've had deals get messed up because they went and they furnished the house.
before they bought it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was like, are you out of your...
Then you got to send Nebraska Furniture Mart back to get it all. Yeah, I've seen it all.
Don't do that.
So, again, choose the right lender up front. If you want to select your own lender and go against the gradient of your realtor, that's fine. Put your realtor in contact with your lender. If they're not going to be on the same team, at least make sure they jive. Because you know what? Donald may say, this ain't going to work. You're going to need to find a new realtor. Because he's not going to risk a transaction going so far south and ruining his reputation because you wanted to save 1/8% with somebody living 1,500 miles away. It may not be worth it to him.
Yeah.
And so, that being the case, if you do not want to work with his recommendations, let him know far enough in advance that, hey, he can cut bait too. It's not a, buyers get full control over the transaction. He gets control too.
Yeah.
So, I've given you a few points to look for as far as selecting the right lender.
So let's wrap it up. Let's do off the cuff 3 questions. What are some 3 questions you're gonna just there's a lineup.
Yep.
3 questions you're gonna ask every lender to make your decision. You can only ask them these 3 questions.
These 3 questions.
Yeah.
Okay. Question number 1. How long have you been doing mortgages? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Question number 2. How long do you plan to continue doing mortgages?
Mm-hmm.
Question number 3. How many transactions did you complete in the last 6 months or 12 months?
I was gonna say I was already gonna cut in because you know how many this irks that we're gonna wrap this up.
Say we've been doing it 12 months, but only did 1 transaction.
Yeah, exactly. Like I had one guy. I remember I just got my real estate license, and even I'm schooling this guy. Like I'm 2 transactions in, and he's like, I've been a real estate agent for 30 years. I'm like, no, you've had your license for 30 years.
You had
like,
your license for 30 years.
Yeah, you
right.
can. You passed your class. You paid your fees. Now you've been doing it. Like that's I hate that. Like the transactions part is important. What kind of volume are you doing?
Well, probably want to know why I asked these 3 questions. The first one, how long have you been in it? Exactly for that. What is your experience? Number 2, how long do you plan to be in it? You know why? I am not the waiter that stops coming to the table after the tab is paid, right? You're still sitting there watching the game. You paid the tab, but your drink is no longer getting filled up, right?
Yeah.
I'm not that guy. I'm going to continue to be your mortgage guy for life. Meaning if you are in a higher interest rate, I'm going to call you when the rates are lower. If it's time for you to get cash out, I'm going to call you and talk to you about those options. I'm going to do a free mortgage checkup annually, just like you were going to the doctor. Why would you not check up on your financial health as it pertains to your mortgage? Lastly, we already hit on that. How many transactions did you actually do? You know what, guys? That is actually verifiable online. So if somebody says, well, I did 58 transactions. Okay, so you got about 5 done per month. That's good. That's pretty good. You can verify that online. So, those are things that you can look up. So if it was really only 6 transactions over the last year, now you're also going to know that the guy's a liar, right? Yeah. So if he's willing to lie about that for some business, you're also going to figure out he's going to lie about other things or mislead you, misguide you, missteer you, or just straight up misinform you. And again, this is one of the largest investments you're going to make in your entire life. Don't settle with misinformation.
Yeah. Oh, I can't. We can say that again. Don't settle for crap. It's just going to be a problem. The smallest thorn will be the biggest pain in the just ass later.
Yeah.
There's no other way to put it. So, let's wrap it up. I know you don't. Can you do it online? You can do all 50 states, can you?
No. I am not licensed in all 50 states.
Okay.
I'm licensed in about 13. You're more than welcome to reach out to me and ask if I'm licensed in that state. If I'm not licensed in that state, I guarantee it, I will find you somebody that I trust and recommend who is licensed in that state to assist.
Not 1,500 miles, though. You got to be. All right, we'll wrap it up. Again, this is Randy. You're probably going to see me in at least a few more videos.
You'll enjoy the next ones, guys.
Yeah, we're gonna do the cool stuff all the other YouTubers do. Sports cars.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, why not?
Sports cars.
That gets everyone's attention. We're gonna talk about the market crash. So hit the subscribe button, the thumbs up, all that. Comments down below. He'll see them too. What questions do you have? So completely unbiased, even if you live in shithole California, what questions do you have for a lender? Do you think yours is a shady one? You want to ask, get the behind the scenes information.
I like it.
I'll see you guys in the next video.
Thank you.